Chapter-3. In the heart of the forest was a little glade that belonged to Bambi's mother. It lay only a few steps from the narrow trail where the deer went bounding through the woods, but no one could have ever found it who did not know the little passage leading to it through the thick bushes. The glade was very narrow, so narrow that there was only room for Bambi and his mother, and so low that when Bambi's mother stood up, her head was hidden among the branches. Sprays of hazel, firs, and dogwood, woven about each other, intercepted a little bit of light that came through the treetops, so that it never really reached the ground. Bambi had come into this world in this glade. It was his mother's and his. His mother was lying asleep on the ground. Bambi had dozed a little too, but suddenly he was wide awake. He got up and looked around, and the shadows were so deep where he was, and it was almost dark. But from the woods came soft rufflings. Now and again titmice chirped, and now and again came a clear hammering of the woodpecker, or the joyless call of a crow. Everything else was still, far and wide. But the air was sizzling with the midday heat, so you could hear it if you listened close, and it was stiflingly sweet. Bambi looked down at his mother and said, "Are you asleep?" "No," his mother said, "I'm not asleep." She had awakened the moment Bambi got up. "What are we going to do now?" Bambi asked. "Nothing," his mother answered. "We're going to stay right where we are. Lie down like a good boy and go to sleep." But Bambi had no desire to sleep. "Come on," he begged. "Let's go to the meadow." His mother lifted her head. "Go to the meadow? Go to the meadow now?" Her voice was so full of astonishment and terror that Bambi became quite frightened. "Can't we go to the meadow?" he asked timidly. "No," his mother answered, and it sounded very final. "No, you can't go now." "Why?" Bambi perceived that something mysterious was involved, but he grew more frightened. But at the same time, he was terribly anxious to know everything. "Why can't we go to the meadow now?" he asked. "You'll find out all about it later when you're bigger," his mother replied. But Bambi insisted. "I'd rather go now." "Later," his mother repeated. "You're nothing but a baby yet," she went on tenderly, "and we don't talk about such things to children." She had grown quite serious. "Fancy going to the meadow at this time of day. I don't even like to think of it. Why, it's broad daylight." "But it was broad daylight when we went to the meadow before," Bambi objected. "That's different," his mother explained. "It was early in the morning." "Can we go there early in the morning?" Bambi asked. His mother was patient. "Only in the early morning or late evening, or at night, and never in the daytime. Never." His mother hesitated. "Well," she said, "at least sometimes a few of us go there in the daytime, but those are special occasions. I can't just explain it to you. You're too young yet. Some of us do go there, but we are exposed to the greatest danger." "What kind of danger?" Bambi asked, all attention. But his mother did not want to go on with the conversation. "We're in danger, and that's enough for you, my son. You can't understand such things yet." Bambi thought that he could understand everything except why his mother did not want to tell him the truth, but he kept silent. "That's what life means for us," his mother went on. "Though we all love the daylight, especially when we're young, we have to lie quiet all day long. We can only roam around from evening till morning. Do you understand?" "Yes," said Bambi. "So, my son, we'll have to stay where we are. We're safe here. Now lie down again and go to sleep." But Bambi didn't want to lie down. "Why are we safe here?" he asked. "Because all the bushes shield us," his mother answered, "and the twigs snap, and the shrubs and the dried twigs crackle. They give us warning. And last year's dead leaves lie on the ground and rustle to warn us. And the jays and magpies keep watch so we can tell from a distance if anybody's coming." Close to his mother, "What are last year's leaves?" Bambi asked. "Come and sit beside me," said his mother, "and I'll tell you." Bambi sat down contentedly, nestling close to his mother, and she told him how the trees are not always green, how the sunshine and the pleasant warmth disappear, and it grows very cold. The frost turns the leaves yellow, brown, and red, and they fall slowly so the trees and bushes stretch their bare branches to the sky and look perfectly naked. But the dry leaves lie on the ground, and when the foot stirs them, they rustle. Then we know someone is coming. Oh, how kind last year's dead leaves are! They do their duty so well and are so alert and watchful. Even in midsummer, there are a lot of them hidden beneath the undergrowth, and they give warning in advance of every danger. Bambi pressed close to his mother. It was so cozy to sit there and listen while his mother talked. When she grew silent, he began to think. He thought it was very kind of the good old leaves to keep watch. Though they were all dead and frozen and had suffered so much, he wondered just what danger could be that his mother was so afraid to talk about. But too much thought tired him. Round about him it was all still. Only the air sizzling in the heat was audible, and then he fell asleep.